Hello and welcome to Asakhe Online. My name is Mbekezeli, Dinos. Today on Asakhe Sports we are joined by Kudakwashe, Nyakufaringwa. He currently plays for the Sabres as the lock and he's based in South Africa and playing for the rugby club named Raiders. We are going to be getting more from him on his experience as a rugby player, and he will also relate with us on who played a very big role that led to where he is today. Maybe let me take this opportunity to welcome him on this show today. Hello, Kofi.
Hey guys, how are you? As you heard my name, I don't further introduce myself, but yeah, pleasure to be here.
So maybe just to attempt on my first try for the day, I know Zimbabwe right now is in South Africa.
Yeah.
How does it feel now that you missed on the tournament? Because headlines were there that we are part of the team, but
I mean, it's a disappointment. It's a big disappointment for myself because I was really keen to be part of the boys and be part of the tournament. So I'm very disappointed, but you take it as it is, and life will throw you punches. You just gotta get up and get ready for the next knockdown.
Now the boys seem to be struggling there. 4 games out of 4, no wins, and it's very hard even to draw a match in rugby. What do you think might be the problem?
I mean, okay, talking on the fact that this is just a new squad, we've had a week to prepare to come into a tournament where you're playing against teams that have had years bonding together. But watching every game, how the guys are actually progressing, because we went into camp and it was a very, very professional setup. I was in camp for about 2 weeks. It was a very professional setup. So, I mean, obviously preparation, not having enough preparation, and yeah, that. But I think the boys will pick up.
Okay, now I'm interested in something here as part of your names. The name Goofy. Looking at how big you are and the sport that you're playing, where did the name Goofy come from?
To be quite frank with you, the name Goofy was never associated with rugby. Growing up, I was short and fat. So you have a lot of people claiming to be the ones who actually gave me the name, so I'll lie to you. But I grew up with it since I think, 8, 9. So yeah, it's got nothing to do with rugby there.
So I can stick with it for as long as I want.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't even know my first name.
Okay, Goofy, that's great. Then now, maybe if you can just give us a brief on where it all began for you as a rugby player.
I mean, okay, I was raised by my uncle. So coming up with him, he was in the Sabres also and the Cheetahs, Uncle Korea. So yeah, at home rugby was a must. So we used to play rugby every day after work on Sundays, going to Victor Longa's house. So it was a sporty house. We used to actually play sports for a living. So I just grew up with it.
Now, did you at some point struggle maybe getting yourself into the first team, maybe let's say even making a debut for your first class rugby, or is just saying it's a family thing? Did it all come as easy as it was, or maybe there were challenges along the way?
I mean, hey, where to start? It was never easy. Like high school, primary, I was never into rugby. I started loving rugby after Uncle Korea died and all that. So talking about high school, I was pathetic at rugby. I used to be the one who used to actually prefer babysitting than going to play rugby. I used to have a lot of excuses why not I shouldn't train. I used to have this and that. So coming up, I never was the one who had talent. I guess hard work and determination got me where I am.
And your first port of call, which team did you play for as you made your way up?
I started playing for Warriors. Before Warriors was Busters, but back then I wasn't really too serious about it. But when I started becoming serious is when I started playing for Warriors, and we had a Devon tour, Sean Robinson, that took us to South Africa in Durban. That was very competitive, and it is right about that time when I decided I actually loved what I was doing.
Okay, now you played as a lock, am I right? Now we know in football, basically the name say it for themselves. If you are called a defender, you automatically know that you defend. Now, I don't know if there are locks. What does a lock do?
Okay, in relevance with that description that you gave, my job role obviously is basically the scrum. So that's my primary job, where you're talking about actually having to hold the pressure and push forward because the scrum is an 8-man job, but you have your flank, your other flank, and your 8-man not doing a lot of pushing. So you have your tight 5 who really push. So my primary job as a lock is scrums. You have lineouts, and then you have ball carrying and rocking. That's ice cream to the topping.
For all that you've just said, please prepare yourself for my last question for the day, because it's along those lines as well. Now, we are talking about your development as a rugby player and how you made it all up. What are the key mental factors that you think make up a rugby player?
I think obviously you need to actually know what it is that you want. I mean, going through the motion is harder. You know, you have people who are talented and you have people who work hard. So, as obviously everyone says, you know what I'm saying, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So, you have to be mentally ready to actually know what it is that you want. Then when you go through the pain of training, the endurance, the workouts, the gym and the sessions, everything else is easier when you know where you want to go. So I think first do something because you love it. You know, you have a lot of people telling you to do something. Like when I came up, it was a force me to play, right? I mean, we used to watch maybe a soccer game, even Arsenal against Man U, and my uncle used to tell you, okay, let's bet for every score you get 10% for every score. So at the end of the game you do 50%, and at that time I wouldn't even do 2%. So it is actually love and passion and having people who support you, who are around you, who know your potential, who know your worth, and them pushing you before you can push yourself.
So can we say it's more talent and more training at the same time? Which one do you think balances the equation the most?
Hard work. Talent can only take you so far, but hard work.
Hard work.
You are at a better advantage if you're talented and you are as hungry as the person who's not. But I say hard work beats everything.
Now, maybe if we can look at your progress as a player, you once rubbed shoulders with South African rugby for the Harlequins in Durban and also the Violets at Cape Town. What's the difference now with the Goofy then and the Goofy who was playing for the Raiders? Where is the upgrade?
Okay, my first time when I went to South Africa, I played for Harlequins in Durban. It was a new scene for me. I stepped on a scene that I knew nothing about as a young man, but they taught me a different style of rugby. You know, it's very confrontational, it's tackling, it's running, it's all that. And then I gained that experience. Then when I went to Violets, you know, dealing with the Cape Colours and all that, and they're evasive, you know what I'm saying? It's more of a running game, it's more of a stepping game. So that taught me how to defend people who actually play like that. And coming from my background at home, where I'm raised in the rugby setup, my brothers and everyone, I'm the only backline, I'm the forward at home. I have everyone who's a backline player. So coming to that, in Cape Town, I had relevance with that, and they actually taught me how to tackle backline players, evasive, because you have everyone. You have the forward, you have a prop, stepping and running. So that was good for me. But now this Goofy that is at Raiders is a combination of all these things that I've learned, and I mean he's doing very well. He's doing quite well for himself.
What do you think is a stronghold?
I think my defense and I'm tall, so my handoffs and but my defense and my attack is pretty solid.
Is it not scary facing someone coming towards you?
Yes, I mean I get a lot of people asking me, like, okay, my coach Peter de Villiers asked me, how do you tackle low? And I told him, because I'm scared.
Now, maybe just to find the relationship that you have had with South Africa, South African rugby and Zimbabwean rugby, where do you think is the difference? And what can you learn maybe from them?
I mean, professionalism, obviously, because you have people who actually have parents believing in them. You know, when you talk about rugby in Zimbabwe, your parents will be like, so skeptical, but when they grow up, if he just shows interest in rugby ball, then they're going to run with that until he becomes of age. So you have Zimbabwe not so much investing so much in rugby, so you don't have high hopes for your kids when you talk about rugby. So we as Zimbabweans can pick up having to believe in your kids, having to fund what it is that you want, because I mean sport is a big industry anywhere in the world. So we've got a lot of obviously things to pick up from South Africa, but we are on the right track. I mean, I was stunned by the amount of professionalism that was there when I went to this camp, and the amount of professionalism that came also with Peter de Villiers and where Brendan Dawson right now just took it to another level, and I mean, I'm very impressed with what Jason, the manager, and everyone. It's looking tight. It's looking tight.
Now, talk about professionalism and relating to the way our parents view sport in Zimbabwe. How do you think we are doing as a nation when it comes to grooming talent?
Okay, obviously when you talk about your A-star schools, there's a lot of grooming. But when you're talking about the government schools, I think there's a lot that can be done. I went to Milton High, but then and what it is now is a whole lot different. And when I went there also, you had people who were telling you Milton used to be there, Milton used to be bigger than it is, and I'm also now outside, I'm thinking we used to be somewhere else. So it's not a good sight to see, but we can definitely do more. I mean, the government and anyone else can actually definitely do more, and us, the old boys, having to give back to schools. You know what I'm saying? Having to, if you can't help them financially, help them with what it is that you've learned over the years. So it's just not, it's not a blame game. Everyone has to carry their own weight to give back to what made you.
Now, you mentioned Brendan.
Yeah.
He's more on the Zimbabwean Academy. Then there's Peter de Villiers. He's got a good history with South Africa. How has it been like working with Peter de Villiers?
I learned a lot. He was right about the first people to actually see and believe in me a lot. So that was a good journey. I learned a lot. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to, because rugby is not all about the field. It's actually the mental state you are in that can actually affect your rugby performance. So I learned a lot. I learned quite a number of things, upgrading my game and what it is that is expected on an international level.
Now, coming to your first camp for the Sevens, how did it feel?
I mean, okay, you have a lot of people thinking, is he ready? Is he this? Is he that? And you get someone who believed in you and gave you an opportunity. So it was everything I didn't expect. It was a blood rush, and you're thinking, so out of I mean, 15 million, 12 million, 15 million, our population here, you're thinking, yo, so am I the one to actually carry the country forward? But when you look left and you look right and you see you're actually surrounded by people who are actually ready and they believe you're ready, and if someone believes you're ready and you actually look at yourself and you think, yeah, I think I'm ready. So the hardest part of rugby is that first kickoff when you're thinking, okay, but 20 minutes into it, you're used to it. Now you can say, oh, okay, let's do it.
At least to play 80 minutes, 10 less than football.
Yeah. But yeah, it feels like 4 hours, huh?
Okay.
Like 4 hours.
Now, looking into the Zimbabwean cricket history, the Zimbabwe rugby history, sorry. We last participated in the Rugby World Cup in 1991, and previously also it was 1987. Do you think your generation has got the potential of changing the odds?
Definitely. Because looking at the amount of talent that we have, we have young ladies who are coming up, buzzing. You have the experienced people who are leading. We have just a little bit more work and commitment from both the players, the union, and everyone else. But I wouldn't not bet on Zimbabwe. It's a solid loss.
Namibia made it this year.
Yeah.
September they are going, in Zimbabwe still nowhere to be found. But we are the first people, along with South Africa, to have participated in rugby, along with other sporting events like cricket. But still, we seem to be having the stumbling block. Where do you think we really need to fix the agenda to make it into the next tournament?
I, for one, not politically related or anything. I think we need a longer duration to actually prepare. So you see, you can't go battle someone who's been doing that for 8 months, 9 months, and you step into a scene where you only have had a couple of weeks to prepare. So as a country and as a union, I think we just need to prepare more, get more time to actually have these boys prepare, have us on the scene where we bunch, we play as a team, because rugby is all about knowing how he takes. How if he runs on his left, I definitely know he's going to offload like that, how he tackles, how all that. So we need to gel more as a team and have more trainings. Yeah. So we're going to need everyone's help. everyone who's been on the setup, who knows what it is that is required to come in and throw your sense in and chip in when you can.
All right. Now, you mentioned something that has to do with giving back to the schools. How much of your talent are they utilizing? Do you guys get invites to come and help with high school kids? Do you get some opportunities to go and share with them what you have gained in the field of rugby?
Yeah, I've did a tour with the antivirus crew. Some of the boys that are there who are actually into dancing, they invited me to a couple of schools where I get to go talk and inspire the boys, rugby related or non-rugby related. And I've been actually in relations with Milton, where I went, and I've got the head coach Chaffet who always brings me in here and there for the line-outs, for everything, and they're currently using a system that I also learned from somewhere else. So it is going well because you have these people inviting you, but I mean, you can never always wait for invites. You need to actually show that you are willing to take part. So then I have the Warriors under 21s that I was vice coach there. So it was, I'm actually putting in the work that I see fit.
Okay. Getting from the context of a rugby player and the rugby game as a whole, there seems to be a lot of a demand in physicality. Do you think drugs have played a big role, or as Zimbabwe we've done so well in cutting drugs because you guys need to be big? What's your take on drugs and the involvement in rugby?
I mean, everyone has a different take on everything, but for me, fortunately, I never got to use anything. I've always believed in just supplements and all that. But you have other people who take it out there, whoever will do what they do, and I wouldn't encourage it. I mean, it's banned for a reason. So I think taking the short way out of anything is actually the longer way. So for drugs, I mean, just hit the gym more, hit more supplements if you wanna, and yeah, your own hard work beats it all.
Okay, now outside the family line of rugby, who has played a very big role to help you as the goofy that you are?
Arnold Square. Alive and did played a very vital role in my career, and my brothers. So, I mean, talking about how we train every day, how we used to train for fun. I used to walk Bradley, my brother Bradley. I used to walk him. That's Arnold Square's son. I used to walk with him to go train every day. Yet I didn't know I was actually training myself. Back then, I wasn't serious about rugby, and everyone has contributed something towards my grind. I have a brother who's a musician, I have two brothers who are musicians, and I have another brother who's a tennis player, and I have Bradley who's a rugby player, and I have Tanda also, my little brother who's a rugby player. So all these, and I have a little sister who's just intelligent. So all these people play a vital role in my part in actually creating the me that I am today.
You have a good little team of sports behind you.
Yes. Every after game you get scrutinized on what it is that you didn't do, so yeah, it's a good vibe.
And your favorite rugby player can be from any country?
I'll give you to Mario Toji.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an England guy. I like how he plays. He's a lock also, and yeah, he's from Nigeria.
Oh. Now, do you have a superstition? Do you have a belief or a routine activity that you do before every game?
I mean, through watching movies, you know what I'm saying, you wanna get something for yourself that you're known for doing, but not really. But I do pray a lot, because whenever you're going into battle, you need God. I do play a lot, and I always dedicate a game to someone, be it my mom, my partner, anyone. So I always have someone to dedicate it to.
Okay, maybe as we draw to a close, that is interesting there. For how long are you looking to stay with the Raiders Club, or you want to progress and go further? And if you had to go further, where would you want to see yourself?
On my next move, don't worry, it'll be televised. There is something in the kitchen that we're cooking up, but stay tuned. But I'm loving where I am right now. They're teaching me a lot, and it's a very professional setup. So, I mean, whatever comes, but obviously elevation is key.
Now, I've been burning to ask you this question ever since we started talking.
Am I ready for it?
Yeah, you must be ready for it.
I hope.
It's very simple. Just calm down. If you were to choose one wild animal to take up your role as a lock, which animal would you pick?
A liger. So that's a mixture of a lion and a tiger. So it's called a liger.
The reasons?
Best of both worlds. I mean, you have strength and you have speed and you have everything. You have height. So that's my animal.
So you are the liger when playing for the Sevens?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's great. A word of advice, maybe there's a young man out there or even someone who's thinking of giving up. Maybe a word of motivation or advice?
Head up and discover yourself. Don't do things for people, don't do things because that's what people expect you to or anything like that. I mean, take time to discover yourself because and do something that you're passionate over. Because when you do something that you're passionate over, you do it right than just going through the motion. And stay educated, read more. It's always good to educate your mind. So hard work, hard work, hard work.
Hard work, and hard work.
All the way.
Above talent.
I mean, yeah, because talking from my background, I was never talented, so hard work got me here.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Coach, on Asakhe Sports.
Thank you very much.
All the best as you move forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the best.
There you have it on Asakhe Sports. Kofi, who is currently injured, but hoping that soon enough he's going to be joining the guys in South Africa and also getting the nod on scoring his tries for the Raiders team. That's it for us on Asakhe Sports. Join us for yet another beautiful edition. Until then, ciao ciao.